Hello. Hello everyone. This is Rebecca from rjmindbody.com. Hope you're having a lovely, lovely day or beginning of the day. And so we're here on a Friday, end of the week. I'm wondering how everybody's doing, how everybody's felt throughout the week with the classes, but also just in general. I hope everybody's been enjoying the weather wherever you are. It's been really a beautiful week in London, nice and sunny and warm. So a little bit, I have to get used to the warmth again. It's been a while, so it's adjusting to that. But anyway, and this just says things about the heat, how important we are when it does get hot, that you make sure that you drink loads of water. I drink lots of water and lemon. It's not always cold water, it's like a lukewarm, but when I wake up in the morning, I drink a kind of a pretty warm cup of, not hot, not boiling water, but in between. So that is a nice way to wake up in the morning and cleanse your digestive system. So something good to do. Okay, so today, just strap handy in case of, I'm not 100% sure we'll use it yet, but we'll see. We've been concentrating this week on our glute muscles, so our bottom muscles and our tummies, our arms, and so a lot of work on our arms this week. I think what I'm going to do is take a break from the arms. We'll do some more legs. Maybe more stretching today than anything. So the strap will come in handy because I'm going to do some hamstring stretches. Since we've done a lot of work on our glute muscles, it's important that we stretch them out. Downward dogs, but I'll show you a downward dog also on the chair in case there's a point where you feel like you want to do more of a chair downward dog, which is a wonderful stretch. I'll take you through a sun salutation, a seated one, and then I'll show you the one where we're actually standing. So you have choices of what you would like to do depending on where you're at in terms of your physical limitations or where you are physically. And in terms of your mobility. Anyway, so we'll get started. So yesterday we did a breathing technique where we were filling up I'm going to do that actually again because I thought that was quite effective in terms of relaxing and being able to relax the nervous system. And what it is that you take an inhale through the nose, about 50%, and then another 50%. You hold and then you go and you inhale again. It's as if you're filling up a cup. You're doing it halfway and then you fill up to the top and then you hold and then you exhale through the mouth, sigh, and empty the lungs completely. And then we do the next set, which is a third and then a quarter. And we work our way up. And it's a nice way of also getting in, have a better understanding of how difficult it is to fill the lungs up completely and what it's like to empty them completely, which we don't, most of the time we only empty them a tiny bit or halfway. It depends on what you're doing. But if you're just breathing normally through the day, we don't empty our lungs completely and we don't inhale completely. We're kind of filling them up only a small bit and emptying them a little bit. But what that does is that's more of a chest shallow breathing rather than a deep breathing. Okay, so let's just take a moment here. Let's just do some regular breaths. I want you to notice, the first thing I want you to do is place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. And notice which hand is moving more without changing the rhythm, without doing anything different. Do you find your hand on the chest is moving more? The belly, the one on the hand on the belly is moving more, or are they both moving together? Just take a moment here and just check out. Now, if you find the chest one is moving more, the top hand, that means you're doing your chest breathing, which is you're using more of your secondary respiratory muscles. okay to do it sometimes, but not all day long. But most of us tend to do that, or the chest breathing more than any other breathing. Belly breathing is the diaphragmatic breathing, which is great. That's a relaxation breath. So that's the diaphragm. You're using the diaphragm muscles. The ideal type of breathing is where both move together. That's a whole body breath. So just something to be aware of. If you're uptight, or if you take a moment and sit down, periodically ask yourself, how am I feeling, how am I breathing rather than how am I feeling, and check on that. It's an indicator of how whether your breathing is too shallow, very deep. Try and combine the two. Okay, so now we're going to do our breathing exercise. So take a breath in, and let's exhale through the mouth completely. Now we'll do the actual inhaling to 50%, pausing at the top for pausing, and then breathe in another 50%. Hold. And then exhale through the mouth. Empty completely. I find I can't speak very well when I empty completely, which is exactly what would happen. And then let's do this, let's do a third. So inhale a third, and pause, and then another third, and then another third, and this is the final third. Hold the breath, and then exhale completely through the mouth. Now we have a quarter. So a quarter, and then another quarter. So that's half, and then another quarter, 3/4, and finally the full cup, and then exhale. So you have just filled your lungs completely, and you've just released all the air from your lungs. Now I want you to come back to your natural breathing, hand on your heart, hand on your belly. Let's take a moment here. And notice, my breathing has changed. And I can feel my breathing have already changed. So what we've just turned on the relaxation response. So there's more right now, the belly breathing, than that there's the chest breathing. And then let's take the hands off of the thighs, and let's just do some gentle rolls around to the right. Just loosening up our spine, letting our chest follow the hips. So the waist is going to make a decision of how it wants to circle, and your arms follow the waist, and the head follows the waist. You can let your head drop. You don't have to keep it up. Let it go. Let all the tension go, and then go in the other direction. All the way around. I'm so impressed by the commitment of you guys to this class. I really am. I'm not just saying it to say it. It really is truly amazing to me. Lift up nice and tall. Feel that tall spine. Now place your hands on your rib cage, and I want you to take a breath in. And feel that the fingers move out, and then as you breathe out, exhale, the fingertips come back together. Then inhale, the fingers move apart, and as you exhale, fingers come back together. And what you're doing is you're knitting those rib cages in towards each other, creating a stability in the spine, which is what we want. And then release the hands down. And what I want you to do here is I'm going to spin around so I can show you. We're going to take our hands behind our heads, elbows, see what that looks like. Elbows out. And we're going to lean back, and then we're going to angle the elbows in towards each other and bring the elbows, maybe they can touch the knees. And then inhale, lift back up. So some belly work here. Lean back. Exhaling, elbows angle in towards each other, down towards the knees. stretch as well. Inhale, reach and open, and exhaling elbows towards knees. And one more time, lift up. This time, hold up. Now what I want you to do is I want you to bring your right knee in and swivel your waist to the right. Bring your elbows in towards each other and bring the elbow and knee together. Then inhale, lift up, open the arms, lean back as if you're having you're having a nice stretch. And then exhale, elbows in towards each other, left knee up. See if you can kiss your elbows towards that left knee, and then inhale, reach up and open, stretch out that chest. Let's do this again. Right knee to right elbows, angle in. And lift back up, take a breath in and open. And then exhale, elbows and knee together, kissing those elbows and knees, almost touching, maybe even touching. Inhale, open, stretch. Let's do this again. Right knee, we'll do another set. And then inhale, open. These are our oblique muscles we're working, the side abdominal muscles. Elbow to knee, and then open. And let's just hold this for a moment, and then just open the arms out to the side. Now, as you're doing this, I want you to bring your rib cage in. So rather than jutting it forward, bring it in towards your spine. So this is called knitting. This is kind of like you're knitting your ribs in towards each other. This creates your stability. And then let your arms come together in front. And then lift and keep everything just as, it's just the arms working here. Maintain that stable core. Nothing's moving with the core. It's just that you're continuing to knit those rib cages together rather than jutting it forward or bringing it back too far back, and then release the arms down and just loosen up. So how we create stability in our core is we bring the rib cage in and we maintain that, but while sitting up nice and tall. So we don't want to jut too far forward. When I tell you, if we're doing cats and cows, that's different. But when we're sitting up tall, we want those rib cages in towards one another. Now, what I want you to do here is all you're going to do is place one hand on your rib cage. Keep that rib cage from popping forward. And I want you to just gently rock your hips forward and backward. Now, if you were to rock too much, that rib cage would start to pop forward. So there's not much movement here. It's just a rock and a roll of the pelvis. Just tiny, tiny, tiny rock. Once your rib cage pops, if it does, pull it back in. Keep maintaining that strength in the core muscles. So those muscles are not just the belly, but they wrap around your spine. We're going to do some balances, little rocks, and then let's release the hand down, and let's just shake out. Now from here, we're going to reach the arms up, and then you're going to drop the arms down, come all the way down into a forward bend. Shake your head no, and shake your head yes. Should feel really nice on your back, and take an inhale, and as you exhale, slide the hands up the shins. Now pull the belly in towards the spine and lift back up nice and tall. Once you reach up nice and tall, lift your arms up and open them up into a V shape like this, yeah? And then place the hands back on the knees. Take an inhale, and then exhale, slide the hands down the knees, down the shins, to the feet, maybe to the floor. Shake your head no, and shake your head yes. Take a breath in first, and use your exhalation. Pull that belly in towards the spine. Working these belly muscles, keeping them nice and tight. Lift up and reach the arms. Now, when you reach the arms up, pull the rib cage in, just like I said before. Try and keep the stability of that core. Let the arms drop down, and then slowly lower back down. Once you reach the bottom, take a few moments here, and I want you to do, if you can, little sways from side to side, as if you're trying to wipe the floor. If you can't do that, then take the opposite hand to the opposite elbow. If you can't touch the ground, that's even fine too. We'll do that in a moment. And then let's stay down here. Heel toe those feet so they're slightly wider than your hips. Your arms are between your legs, and I want you to now come back into that forward bend, unless you're dizzy. Take now the opposite hand to the opposite elbow, drop your head. Stretching out that spine, inhaling and exhaling. Then release the hands to the ground, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, allow the arms to dangle. This is called a ragdoll roll up. And once you reach the top, roll the shoulders back like this. Yeah? And then take an inhale and exhale, roll back down. Legs are wide. Come all the way down between the legs. So they're quite wide here. You can even go wider if that's fine. If you can't touch the ground, place your hands on your shins. We'll do that actually in a moment. Let's roll back up. Let the arms dangle like a rag doll. There's nothing happening here. And then you're going to lift up nice and tall and roll the shoulders back. Now, bring the rib cage in, suck it in, and roll the shoulders. Maintain stability. And then reach your arms up to the sky and open out into that V shape. And then let's bring the arms back down. Let's take an inhale, let's exhale, roll back down, let the arms dangle. Once we reach the bottom, now we're stretching out the inner thighs. We're doing a little bit of a walk from side to side or a slide. Or you can take your hands on your ankles or shins and go from side to side. I kind of like my hands on my ankles. So we're stretching out our backs. We're going to now roll back up. And I want you to roll the shoulders back and let's come up off the chair. So we're going to do this a few more times where we lift up off the chair and then we'll finally come to standing. So make sure the chair is behind you. You're going to take your arms forward. You're going to lower yourself down and not just drop down, but you're going to hover and then sit back down. Make sure the chair is behind you. I'm always afraid someone's going to fall. No one has yet, knock on wood. So reach the arms forward. Inhaling, leaning forward, and exhaling, lifting all the way up. Now try and keep that rib cage in. I know the problem, I'm the same way. I want to pop forward. But for this, we need the stability. Inhaling and exhaling, lowering down. So this is very much a Pilates stuff we're doing here. You're thinking it's just yoga. Hover and then lower down. Sit up nice and tall. And breathe in. As we get older, some of us can't even get off a chair. So here we are getting off chairs. Inhaling, which sounds like that's not such a big deal. It is. It is a big deal. Lean forward and then slowly lift yourself up. I even see young people struggling because they've become very weak. And then keep that rib cage in. Take a breath in and exhale, lower down. And just hover. Just think if this is you're sitting on a toilet. You're just about to sit on a public toilet seat and you don't want to. And then you have to sit down. And this time we're going to come up, but we're going to stay up. So just reach the arms up, take an inhale. Use the exhalation to lift yourself, lean forward and lift up and hover and then come up and then let's stay up. So that should feel really good and just shake out your hips. And just shake them out. Let's do a shake to the right, shake to the left, shake to the right, shake to the left. Now, we're not going to do some of the things we did yesterday with the strap. I could actually feel my back in a good way. It means I haven't used those muscles in a long time. We will never do something 2 days in a row. That is quite difficult. That's challenging a muscle. Not good for the muscle. Okay. So we're going to do that same ragdoll roll down that we did sitting. So you're going to reach the arms up. If you need the chair to hold on to, you can do that. Inhale, lift, and let's roll down, arms, and then bend the knees and come all the way down. See if you can touch the ground. See how far, or get close to the ground. I have no idea. I'm going to ask you guys later. Or send me a little message. Yes, I can touch the ground with my knees straight. Or I can't touch the ground with my knees straight. I can come up about halfway. Just let me know, because that helps me, gives me an idea about your flexibility. And then roll back up. So we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades. As we squeeze it, I want you to pull the rib cage in and just concentrate on the shoulders. Don't jut the rib cage forward. Knit them together and squeeze the shoulder blades, and then bring the arms forward. Let's take a breath in and let's roll back down. But this time keep your legs straight. And I want you to tell me later, I'll send a message if you forget, how far do your hands go here? The reason being is this gives me an indication of your flexibility. It doesn't matter how old you are. I have people in their 80s and 90s who can touch the ground. Some of them who can actually flatten their hands out. And that was after spending, some of them, that's just them. They've been doing it for years, but some have learned through just practice. Doing years of work. I've worked with some people for about 7 years. Inhale, reach the arms up. Let's open the arms out to the sides. And then bring the arms back in and open up the arms. And while we're doing this, we're creating stability in our spine by just letting the trunk of your body stay still. Nothing's happening there other than just providing the stability it needs, and then release down. And let's do some shoulder rolls and shoulder forward rolls. And I know we love our downward dogs, so come into your downward dog. Stretch through that. Now, if you happen to be a person that can do mat work, the downward dog is like this on the ground. That's the traditional downward dog. The chair this is the chair version. And there's another version in a moment I can show you when we sit back down. And just walk forward, take your time, and come to the back of your chair and take your hands behind your back and just take your thumbs, so your hands are on your hips, take your thumbs and tuck your tailbone. Keep that knit that rib cage in, and just take your chest and pick it up. It's a lot of things to think about. But once you strengthen these areas, you can do a lot more in terms of movement, and you're safer, less likely to fall. And then let's just take the hands and on the top of the chair and press back. And let's hold this for 2 full breaths. Drop your head, no tension in that neck. Inhaling and exhaling. Let's inhale, walk just about halfway, not all the way to the back of the chair. Bring your right foot forward so that it's between the center of the chair. Actually, it's a little bit further back. Take your left leg back and lift up tall. Keep that rib cage in and just bend that left leg. Let's do the glute thing. I want you to take your left finger, press into that your bottom cheek. Feel that muscle work. Activate it, then bend the leg. Inhaling and exhaling. Strengthening these bottom cheeks. Or the muscles. Which will hopefully do the bottom cheeks too. And then lower down, and let's just shake out. And let's do the other leg. So take your right leg back and take your right hand on that cheek. Take an inhale, feel that cheek, activate that muscle first. feel it get very hard, and then bend your leg. So you're not using, and then straighten, and then squeeze that cheek, and then bend. So you're not using your lower back as much. You will use some of those muscles because they're connected, but not as much. You'll be using your hamstrings, your glute muscles. I know I'm giving you a lot of information, but it helps for you to understand how your body works, what's happening here, and why it's important that we're doing these things. And then just take your hands on your bottom and slap your bottom. You're probably saying, thank God she can't see me. And slap your thighs. And slap the outer legs, the shins, the calves, the feet, if you can get to your feet, which I think you guys can, all the way up, around. Wake up those legs, bottoms, groin area, hips, around, and that's just wake up anywhere but your breasts. And then back, punch your little tiny punches in the back of your body. This stimulates your lymphatic system, but it's good for your, it also stimulates your organs, your livers, your kidneys. It's all good stuff. We're not just working on the outer body, we're working on the in. And just little slaps of the arms, slaps of the shoulder, hit the shoulder. Take your neck and just, this time I want you to just rub your neck. Dig those fingers into the neck muscles, especially the ones that are behind and that are connected to your shoulders. They're big ropey muscles here. If you can feel them, all the tension that builds up in those muscles. Do this once a day. Takes maybe a minute to do all this. And then just take your hands and little taps around the eyes. Just little taps around the cheeks, below the nose, below the lips. Wake up, and the forehead, and then the head, little taps. Wake up your, and then behind the head, around where the skull and the neck meet. And then shake out your hands. Go take a breath in and go wah. Take a breath in, wah. Take a breath in and a and a and a wah and a wah and a let it all out. Let it all out. Everything. We don't need to carry any problems, stress. It's not necessary. And then come back down. It is not necessary. And I'm saying this from personal experience. Some of it is a waste of our energy, wasted. We can only control so much in our lives. And what we're doing right now is we're taking care of our bodies. We try and eat well. Sometimes we don't eat so great. It's okay. It's all about getting rid of the things that aren't serving us anymore. The guilt, the having to take care of people who are able to really take care of themselves. Some of our children. We all have grown children, right? It's your time. Yeah, it's your time. So just close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to feel it. And notice how good your body feels, or whatever it's feeling. It doesn't even have to feel good. Just be with this body. Notice what's happened, how it's shifted from when you first sat down to now. And then reach the arms up to the sky and stretch through those hands and celebrate the end of the week. Exhale, hands together, and bring the hands to your heart. And celebrate the fact that you're committed to yourself, That it's not we stop giving to others, but we have to very much fill ourselves up first. And I know the people in this class tend to give more to others than themselves. So think about on the plane when you have to put the oxygen mask on you first before you put it on the child. Put it on you first. Have a lovely, lovely rest of the day, everyone. Namaste, and I will see you soon.